All right, everyone, here we go. How about a Soulmate Journey update? One deck for the DF, one deck for the DM. Let's see where we're at. Randomly at the bottom of yours, well, most of you are the DFs watching, and you didn't run, but channel attracts DFs, so it's the Four of Cups. And a Page of Cups. Interesting. Maybe an offer you can refuse might be coming your way. I'm not sure. From whoever this is, it doesn't have to be your runner. This could be a lower level soulmate. I don't know. But that's generally, or an apology you're not interested in hearing, right? Could be that too. I don't know. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we go. I have no idea. It's just randomly at the bottom, but it means something to somebody, right? Shuffle for the DF here. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you with here, you found Steve Love Terry here for a reason. This reading is timeless. Not a fucking Time Lord. There's a whole playlist of these. You're all moving at different speeds on your timeline. But we've been tracking the soulmate cycle since about July of 2021. So somewhere you're in there, right? Somewhere. Find it. Bottom of the deck for you is, let me move this, it's in the way. Temperance. I like that. That's good. The environmental energy around you is temperance. You're well protected. So if you want to say no, you can say no, right? If you want to say yes, you can say yes. You're fairly well protected here. What's the base energy? We'll flip the deck. The Five of Wands. It's like nothing's, I'm going to make sure we're on camera here. Five of Wands crossed by Temperance. It's like, that's a big energy in the environment. That's it's the smallest, weakest energy as it reflects to me from these cards. It's like nothing can touch you. It doesn't matter. Water off a duck's back, right? An apology you don't want to hear. I was pretty close with the cards randomly at the bottom. It could be an apology you don't want to hear. It could be somebody's making you an offer of love, but you're just whatever. Feel free to say no is the answer here, right? Don't get into it with anybody. Just feel free to say no. It's safe, and don't get in your head about something you want to say yes to. It's safe. This is very protective energy. It's very nice. Let's clarify. Let's grab the little animal deck for you. Let's do it the old traditional way here. All right, here we go. Smaller version of the current deck, but randomly at the bottom is a tower. Yeah, I think sometimes, the energy we're in right now is conducive, at least in the right now, for falling back on old ways a little bit. Old habits, old patterns of thoughts, patterns of communication, patterns of things we say yes to and things we say no to, and all of that. It's fine. It's just flow with the energy, It's very conducive to that. So let's see where we go. The reason I say that is, yes, generally it's not a good idea to fall back on old patterns, and yeah, it's probably wise if you correct it. But if you do fall back on an old pattern or an old way of doing things, you'll learn. It's a good way to see how far you've come. And look at this. I got on top. It fell out on the floor. Three of Wands right there. Bottom of the deck. Red with five wands. With Temperance crossing five wands is five wands. That'll be crossing the center card I pull. So again, it comes up. Don't sweat the small stuff in this energy. I think this is the way it feels to me. I think somebody over here is coming your way, and I think you just don't give a shit. All right, I think I feel it more in the no side than on the yes side. Take it as it resonates. For a few of you, it's a yes. It could be a no-brainer decision. I don't even have to think about this. Yes, 1,000 times. That kind of thing like they do in the movies, right? But it could be. I don't know. I just don't feel. What's here? Crossed by five wands. The Magician. These are big cards around five wands, and it sort of reverses here. Now five wands is the environmental energy, and the Magician's red with Temperance. It just keeps reading that you're very protected. It's that energy of the Magician that I don't like, which is you've got all the tools you need. That kind of energy. Don't get in. You don't have any reason to get in your head about it. There's nothing. You can make quick yes, no, yes, no, yes, no type decisions here. You really can. What's red with the three wands? Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. Something's going to happen here. I'll just paraphrase it. Can I do that? Right? Something's going to happen here with this person. Probably coming towards you, I would guess. Or you read something about this person or hear something about this person. It's going to show you you're going to see crystal fucking clear how far you've come, how much you've changed, and the fact that you might be moving in a whole different direction than you were once before in the past. Okay? Now again, the energy right now is conducive to falling back on old ways. That's fine too. If you accidentally do, it's okay. There's a lesson in it for you. Then you really get to see how far you've come, right? Go back to the old, you've moved somewhere, right? I'll give you a 3D example. You've moved somewhere, like the Jeffersons. Back in the 70s, you moved on up, right? Well, we're moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky, right? Now, what if old George Jefferson went back to his old neighborhood where he came from, right? He fell back, oh, I miss it, all wheezy. I miss my old neighborhood. He goes back to his old neighborhood, right? You get to see how far, he got to see how far he came if you do that. There's a big difference between the old neighborhood and the deluxe apartment in the sky. So if you do fall back on old ways, it is a clear way, it's a great way to see how far you've come, you know. I've gone back to neighborhoods I've lived in the past. You know, it's just a metaphor, but I mean, I've gone back to neighborhoods I've lived in and gone, I thought this was a lot nicer when I lived here. That's actually what I've thought. It's kind of a thing like that too. So if you do fall back on old ways, some of you will, some of you won't. You get to see how far you've come. But also, I think I've got somebody coming at you here, which shows you how far you've come. In a way, this is the old neighborhood, whoever this is. Okay? All right. Anyway, just want to point that out. Sometimes people beat themselves up when they fall back on old ways. I don't think so. I think you've changed a lot. I think you're moving in a new direction. You've grown a lot, right? Randomly at the bottom of theirs, somebody wants to ask you out. 3 of Cups. I think somebody asks you out, and I think it's somebody you would normally. You probably have a slight soul connection with them. I don't think it's your runner. In this particular, we got all kinds of things happening on part of our journey through the soulmate cycle. All kinds of shit. I call it a bus route. All kinds of people get on and off the bus if you ride the whole route. You know. I think this is somebody who you'd normally say yes to, that's coming to ask you out, and you're like, you don't even have to fucking think about it. Hell, you're like, no, I've changed. I'm different. I'm not that anymore. Right? All right? I don't know. Something along those lines, but let's see. Let's shuffle the deck on the DM side. Let's go. See where we go here. I like it. Either way, I like this energy for you. The DF is getting some juxtaposition, some contrast. You get to see some things, feel some things. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's going on here with this energy. It's definitely, because of the context of this reading, it's all about this energy coming in here. And it could be direct communication. It could be something you read, you know, something you hear from somebody else, or somebody coming and asking you out, somebody you normally say yes to. You've moved on up to an energetic deluxe apartment in the sky. You're not going back to the old neighborhood. All right? What the hell? All right, here we go. It's crossed by the Magician. There of crossing energy is the Magician. Again, I've got Temperance and Magician. Temperance and Magician. 5 of Wands and 5 of Wands. I mean, if we get a 5 of Wands out of this deck, I will shit myself, but I don't think we will. That would be... We need something here. But that's interesting. This person has changed too. Interesting. Both sides have changed, but I think it's like it feels to me, for the majority of the energy, it feels to me like a grown apart kind of thing. All right? It happens. Sometimes during a separation phase, you grow apart. I have no idea. It's very strange. But I hold by what I said. Let's see what the base energy is. Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles. Somebody wants to show you that they've changed, that they've grown, if you will. Somebody wants to show you that they're in a new energy. I think they're discounting that people often do that. They're discounting that you're in a new energy, right? I mean, people always like to assume that you're doing about how they're doing, right? People, especially people you haven't seen in a while. It's tough to explain. I've known a lot of people in my life, and I've run into a lot of people, you know, over the years that I haven't seen in, say, 2 decades and things like that. And every time that happens, they seem to assume that I'm still in the same place I was 20 years ago. Most of the time, it's because they are. They're still in the same place, you know. And I kind of roll my eyes. I kind of go, really? Really? You're still kind of doing that? I don't really think, but they can't possibly fathom that you've moved forward. Because it gives them juxtaposition. It shows them how little they've grown or all the mistakes that they've made, right? I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of that. It's tough to explain. It's tough to explain without insulting somebody, like making up some job that, like, they're still doing a job that you would do as a teenager, on a summer vacation, and they in their 40s, right? And you've grown. You've got a whole executive thing now. You've got a secretary and all that. It's a bit of that kind of a thing. Without, it's inevitable that I insult somebody in some reading. Steve, that's my job. That's what I do. Okay, I pick up garbage under the city. It's what I do. I mean, okay. You're a mole person, I get you. I'm just saying, it's a bit of that. I don't think they're considering that you've changed. I think you're going to rattle this energy a little bit. I think both sides have grown and moved in new directions. But I think you've got somebody coming towards you that assumes that you're still where you were. They actually have moved where you were at some point. But you're now past that. You're way beyond that. So again, it's a bit of that. Okay, let's see where we go. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles here on the DM side. It's tricky. If you're one of my younger viewers, you'll find out in 20 years when you run into somebody. You'll see. They automatically assume that you're exactly the same. Oh, and if they've grown, if they're the one who now has gone from living under the city to picking up garbage, to an executive with a secretary. Oh, they will rub that shit. Oh, they'll make sure and tell you. They'll tell you the price of everything they own too. Yeah, I got this Beamer the other week. Got a great deal on it, only 60 grand. I mean, they want to make sure that they spent. Oh, okay, right. It's funny. People crack me up. Actually, I don't like them very much, but they crack me up and they're fun to study. All right, Seven of Pentacles. Got a very ego-based energy over here on the DM side. I think they're very proud that they're in the place where you were. I think they kind of get where you were in the past, but you're still way ahead of this person. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? I don't think you should rub it in. I just think you don't care. Yeah, here they come. Bottom card is the Chariot, crossing what will be the center card here, red with the Magician. This is part of your journey on this soulmate cycle. Somebody has moved forward. This may have come up. This feels like an energy I felt before. If you're one of the people that watched the extended for the, what the hell was it? The last reading I did, or whatever the hell it was. They may have come up in there. I think it was the Leo soap opera. I think I did a side read on some of the people, right? Toward the end, I just said, I'm just going to pull on you at the end of it. And I think this type of energy came up in there. It's just feeling it off the Chariot for some reason. What's on top? Five of Pentacles. Again, somebody wants to show you they've changed. They can come in now. Now they get it. There's the key. They found the key. Okay? All right. You've also got some... Oh, do I want to say that? I'm going to wait. What's the center card? It's crossed by the Chariot, which is all red with the Magician. The Ten of Cups. Yeah. Somebody's going to lie to you a little bit, exaggerate. Somebody's going to... I'm going to read it that way. It's the way it flows. It's a bit of, yeah, there is some kind of alchemy here, lead into gold, but it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. You can't really turn lead into gold. You're better off trying to go the other way. I mean, you can turn lead into gold. Actually, they've done it. It's just it takes a whole lot of energy just to get it to happen. And you don't get very much gold. That being said, somebody's exaggerating here. What's red with the Five of Pentacles? Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. It took this person too long. It's a case of, there's a lot of ways I can read this here. Somebody figured something out. They've figured out where the key is. They're very proud of themselves about that. They're coming towards you. You've grown in a different direction. It's everything I've already told you. But somebody's going to exaggerate something here. It's one of those cases where I think too much time has passed between you and whoever this person is. Sometimes when that happens, we grow apart. Like, Think of it this way, just as an example, taking hocus pocus out of it. Just an example, you were best friends with Lisa or Tommy in third grade. Okay, you in third grade, you're 8 years old, you're best friends, and then you don't see them for like 40 years, and you reconnect. Sometimes that works, and sometimes just too much time has passed. Too many changes have happened within the person. You no longer get along, see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of that kind of energy. It's an exaggerated example, but it is a bit of that. All right, let's see what else the universe wants to tell you. But yeah, it pretty much is, it lands over here. All right? So somebody is where you were. You know, I don't know. It feels like an old energy to me. It feels like it's very easy to say too much time has passed. This person may ask you out. I said that around the Three of Cups. They may ask you out for drinks or something like that. You could politely decline. You're fine. It doesn't affect your life one way or the other. I think if you say yes and you go out with this person, it will show you how much you've grown. But I think just being in this person's energetic presence will show you that. I think it will on some level, you know. I don't need to have drinks with the person I run into I haven't seen in 20 years who's still doing what I was doing 20 years ago, right? I don't need, you know, we got nothing to talk about. Other than it's going to sound like I'm bragging when I'm talking to. I mean, you know, it's going to sound terrible. They're going to leave and feel really bad. They may run themselves into a telephone pole on the way home, you know. It's that kind of energy here for you. You know, there is a vast difference here. All right, let's see where we go. And you could even see it in the base cards, the Seven of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. This is like the weakest energy for me. Things that are a big deal to this person now are nothing. That's like, okay, cool, how adorable, right? You know, it's a bit of that. All right, let's see what else the universe wants to say here. I don't know if it wants to talk about this side or this side. This is not your runner. This is not an emperor and empress type soulmate. This is not that. I can tell you this is as I've described it. It is part of the journey on the soulmate cycle. That's Cancerian energy. Sometimes the Chariot comes out to show me it's part of the journey. It is. It's sort of a these are the people in your neighborhood sort of thing. It's somebody who gets on the bus of the soulmate cycle and wants to sit next to you, and you're like, oh, I might have wanted to sit next to you like 40 years ago, but not now. You know, that kind of a thing. No thank you. Right. It's a bit of that. But there's no harm in saying yes either. Maybe you fall back on old ways. Maybe you used to be a people pleaser, and you used to just say yes because, you know, whatever, and you've grown past that, and then you go ahead and people please this person, and you say yes, and you didn't really want to. Well, that'll show you something, won't it? It'll show you where you've been. It's like going back to the old neighborhood. You probably won't like it. All right, let's go. Cards at the bottom. 3 cards. I see the bottom card. King of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, and the King of Wands. Yeah, you're gonna. This is for you. This is for the DF side. You're gonna have to be very. I already said it. I've already said it. You're gonna have to be very, very careful here. If nothing else, okay. If nothing else. The juxtaposition, the difference between, the contrast between you and this person is so bad, it will raise your ego. You will feel good. And if you go out and you have drinks with this person or get into a threesome, one or the other, if you have drinks with this person, it's like you know, oh man, you don't even want to know how much I've grown. You know, you're just going to pummel this person into the ground. You got to be careful of that, okay? You're going to feel really good about yourself, but in an equal and opposite reaction, you could make this person feel really bad about themselves, okay? And in their little world, right, just finding the key is a big deal to this person, right? Try to at least respect that it's a big deal to them, even though for you it's nothing, right? Sort of like when you placate a child who's really excited about something, and you're like, oh my God, they're so excited about whatever. You know, you don't pummel the kid and tell them, well, that's just really stupid, that's no big deal. Here, let me show you what a big deal is, right? You don't do that, right? You let them have their little big deal, and you think it's adorable. It's a bit of that here, okay? It's a bit of that. That's your reading. Again, this is not your runner. If this is your runner, I feel sorry for you. I don't think so. This is a very, very small soul, a very light soul connection. All right. Anyway, that's the best I can do with it. It is what it is. Everybody lives this at some point. You really do. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. All right. Good luck.